G'day everyone, how you going? Welcome back to Self Maid. If you've seen the title of this episode, it is Open Doors and Open Wallets. And you may be thinking, what does that mean? Well, stick around. I've been on TikTok a lot recently, and maybe you have too. And I don't know about you, but I've been noticing a lot of like window cleaners and pressure washing businesses popping up. And a lot of them are these young guys that are like hustle, hustle, hustle. And it's really cool to see. But I've also noticed, like, even when I started my business, these pressure cleaning and window cleaning businesses and even carpet cleaners and tile and grout cleaners, they're very male dominated. A lot of these businesses are run by men, and particularly young men as well. Whereas in the residential and commercial space, a lot of the businesses are actually female owned. And you see some very different dynamics that are being implemented and kind of run by the different business owners based on gender. And I'm not going to make gender stereotypes, but I think we can all agree that men and women just tend to run and operate businesses differently. And one of the main things I've noticed is that a lot of these window cleaners and pressure washers, particularly these young guys that have just started their businesses, they're going from zero to like 3 to 5K a week super, super quickly. And they're doing that by door knocking. Okay. So like I said, these industries are male dominated and they're unapologetically hustle based. The hustle culture is so prevalent, especially in this new age of like TikTok and Instagram. All these young guys just want to get out there and hustle. Like there is a lot of merit and there's a lot of social status that's tied up in that hustle culture. People want to be seen as hustlers now. And a big part of that is door knocking. It's how they get their clients. And it made me realize that residential cleaners don't do that. People that clean houses aren't actually going door to door and doing door to door sales. And so it just had me thinking, like, I need to make a podcast episode about this because it's like $1 billion marketing tactic that's hidden in plain sight that is so underutilized in this particular space. And all we have to do is go outside of our realm of residential cleaning and have a look at, things like window cleaning and pressure cleaning and even other industries like solar sales and insurance and whoever else goes door to door, like, the Mormons and the JWs as well. They go door to door because it's effective. It is probably the most effective form of marketing, but there is a high barrier to it. There's a high risk barrier for some people. There is an anxiety barrier. Some people are scared to do it because they're afraid of rejection. I know I was when I started my business. And now let me also preface by saying, and this is like a little disclaimer, I have never actually gone door to door. I didn't when I started because I was scared and I honestly just didn't think it would work for residential cleaning, which is silly because you're literally going to the person's house that you want to clean and asking if they want it cleaned. But yeah, I was mainly just scared and afraid of rejection, which I think a lot of people listening to this might also be as well. And that's completely fair. It's a very common thing. It's like public speaking. The majority of people would hate to do public speaking. It's kind of like that. But yeah, a lot of these young guys I'm seeing on TikTok, their primary marketing method is just hit the pavement, knock on doors, shake hands, make sales. And it's not uncommon for a window cleaner to do like $5,000 a week, pretty much pure profit just by knocking on doors with a squeegee in their hand. But residential cleaning, by contrast, has more of a nurturing kind of referral driven and quieter approach, which is like, it's not a bad thing, but it does leave a lot of opportunity on the tail. And so the untapped power of door knocking in residential cleaning is, it's free, it's scalable, it's fast. You don't have to wait around for SEO to take effect. You don't have to build up Google reviews. You don't have to run Facebook ads. You don't have to go into Facebook groups and post every single day and hope that you get a response. It builds trust and likability instantly because you're not just a website. You're not just an online brochure. You're face to face with another human. And remember, people like to buy from people. So if you can get face to face with someone, like I said, it's going to build that trust and likability and even authority instantly, and it's going to make the sale a lot easier. And it also allows for hyper targeting. So you can focus on specific suburbs or demographics like new mums, retirees, dual income families, that sort of stuff, which is a lot harder with paid ads and other forms of marketing. So we know that there is untapped power in door knocking, but what is holding us back? It's those limiting beliefs. So, I'm too shy to do door knocking. Well, you already sell every time you speak to a customer on the phone. You already sell every time a customer lands on your website, even if you've never met them. Everything that is on your website is salesmanship in print. Every time you drop off a flyer at someone's letterbox, that's salesmanship in print. You are selling indirectly through the page. And so all you have to do is translate that into speech, which should be easier because speaking is like second nature to human beings. That's how we communicate with each other. And so overcoming that shyness, like shyness is a myth. I used to think I was shy. I used to think I was introverted and had social anxiety. But all I had to do was just force myself to be in these situations where I started by just handing out flyers and just being seen in these neighborhoods handing out flyers was like, that gave me anxiety. Like just being seen dropping flyers off gave me anxiety. So then I went from that to then doing an in-person quote. And that was a step up. So now I was face to face with someone in a sales environment. I had to sell my services to someone and get them to transfer wealth from their pocket to mine, which was really nerve-wracking. And it was a big barrier and a challenge that I had to overcome. And then I moved up to, calling people, which is something I'd never done before. I'd never really picked up the phone and called people. I was so scared of it for some reason. It was this irrational fear and this limiting belief that I had to overcome. And the only way to do it is just to put yourself in that situation over and over again. So do you think after doing, probably, 500 face-to-face quotes that I'm still afraid of it now? Like, no, it's just easy for me now because I put myself in that uncomfortable position so many times to the point where it just becomes second nature. It just becomes normal to me. And that's what we have to do with these limiting beliefs. If you have anxiety, if you feel like you're shy, you need to just look at yourself, step away from yourself, and then, imagine that there is another version of you that isn't shy. Imagine there's a version of you that goes out there, can knock on doors and crush it and win sales every day. What does that person have that you don't? Okay, they probably have an extroverted nature. They're probably likable. They probably have charisma. Is that unattainable for you? Is that completely impossible for you to be? No, all you have to do is operationalize that person you want to become. So, that person likes to talk. That person is extroverted, but I'm introverted. So what does that mean? That just means that you have to get comfortable with talking. And so put yourself in uncomfortable situations where you have to talk to strangers. Go door to door. At first, you're going to suck, but like I've said in previous episodes, the faster you can suck, sorry, this is so bad. The faster you can start sucking, the sooner you can get good. So embrace the suck. Embrace being bad at something because it brings you one step closer to being good at it. So if you've never done door knocking before, if you've never done cold calling before, maybe that's a better place to start. I have done cold calling, and again, very, very nerve-wracking, but it's a step down from door knocking because, if it goes really south, if it goes terrible, just hang up the phone or be like, oh, you're breaking up, sorry, click, hang up, that's done. Whereas if you're face-to-face with someone, it might be a little bit harder to say that, I don't know, your dog has just thrown up everywhere, then you have to go, or the connection's bad, right? So maybe start with cold calling, maybe build up your confidence there, and then you can start to move up to in-person stuff like door knocking. But these limiting beliefs, that's all they are. They're just limiting beliefs. They aren't things that are embedded into your mind. It's not something that's part of your biology or your anatomy. So all you have to do is operationalize the person you want to become. If the person you want to become that's crushing door-to-door sales, that's crushing cold calls, is extroverted, all you need to do is become extroverted. So how do we operationalize an extrovert? Well, they've got charisma. They talk. They speak with confidence. They have inflections in their voice when they talk. How I talk on this podcast, this isn't how I normally talk. If I just talk like this, which is just how I normally talk, just to a friend or whatever, like you guys would just zone out and probably not listen anymore. And this is probably how I talked in my first couple of episodes. But no, if I'm talking to a customer or a prospective client, or if I'm filming a TikTok, or if I'm on TV, if I'm recording a podcast, I put this voice on. This is not normal for me. So I have to operationalize an extroverted nature. Okay. And it's easy to do. It's not impossible. You just have to look at what other people do and kind of mimic those tendencies. And it sounds a bit crazy, but the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. And you can just kind of switch it on like a light switch, like I can do with podcasts, with recording TikToks. If I go on radio, TV, TikTok, if I do cold call people, and if I did go door to door, I'd do exactly that. And so you just have to put yourself in more of these situations. It is going to be rough. Your first 50 to 100 cold calls, they're going to suck. Don't expect to get any business from that. The first 50 doors you knock on, probably going to suck as well. But then after that, you're slowly going to get better and better. And if you do it for long enough, you're going to become a master at it. And when you're a master at something, when you achieve mastery at something, you, in a sales context, you can make a lot of money from it. And best part is it's free. It only costs you your time. And if you're someone that's starting out, if you need clients, then great news, because all you've got is time. So use it. But that's one limiting belief. There's also like, people are going to think I'm weird, right? That's a belief I had when I started. People are going to think I'm weird. I thought that even when I was handing out flyers, I thought people are going to look at me and they're going to think that, oh, like, what's he doing? Why is he, like, who cares? Like, sure, some people might think you're weird, but others are going to thank you for solving a problem they've been ignoring. There's going to be plenty of people that want a cleaner, but they just haven't taken action yet. They haven't taken action on an advertisement they've seen. Maybe they've just been busy, but if you go knock on their door tomorrow, they might be like, oh yeah, we've actually been thinking about getting a cleaner. Can you give us a quote right now? We got 30 minutes free. Just come in and look around, give us a quote. All right, cool. Just like that. Okay, so there are going to be people that are going to think you're weird or just aren't really vibing with you, and that's fine. You just move on to the next one. It's like Jordan Belfort's, I think it's the Way of the Wolf book. It's called straight line selling. That's his system for sales. Straight line selling is very black and white, and it's in the name. It's just straight to the point. So when he goes door to door or cold calls people, he gets to the point as quick as possible. And if he thinks that there is a misalignment in, values or what's being offered, if he doesn't think the person needs nor wants it, he ends it right there and moves on to the next one. He doesn't waste any time trying to sweet talk them, trying to persuade them to buy something they don't want to do or they don't want to buy. And so you just take that approach and you apply it to door knocking and cold calling. If you don't think this person wants it, like, sure, you could probably convince them if you had like half an hour, but it's better just to move on quickly and, in doing so, move on to someone that is more inclined to buy from you and do business with you now. So yeah, that's one thing as well. And then there's other limiting beliefs and, potential risks. Like, some people might think it's not safe. If you're a young lady, you might think it's not safe to be door knocking. You might be scared about who's behind that door, which is perfectly reasonable as well. But there's ways around that as well. You can bring a friend, you can bring a family member, you can primarily do it during the day, and you can just stick to safe neighborhoods. And there's ways around that, is what I'm saying. And so these limiting beliefs, it's nothing that's going to hold you back. It's nothing impossible. So any limiting beliefs you have now, like anxiety or stress or worry about how people are going to perceive you, break it down. Think about why that's limiting you right now. Think about why you have that limiting belief, and then think about logically what that actually means, and break it down and rationalize it. Think about how you can overcome that. Okay. So the psychology behind door knocking as well. I want to quickly explain why this kind of works so well. So one thing I've talked about in a previous episode is recency bias. So like, they just saw you, so you're on the top of their mind. The same thing applies to ads, but it's not as strong of an effect because you're not face to face with another human being. So like, if you appear in someone's mailbox with a flyer, you are now at the top of their consciousness for cleaning. You're the last cleaning thing they've seen. And, if they want to act on a cleaning service, if they've been thinking about cleaning and they see an ad right then and there for cleaning, they'll probably act on that there. And so recency bias, they just saw you, they've been face to face with you, you're the top of their mind. And the easiest way to do that, and the most effective and the strongest way to build that connection, is face to face through door knocking. And it's also the visual association. So seeing you in a uniform with a clean and friendly presence builds immediate trust, just like that. Right off the bat, you've got trust. You've got authority built right there. You can't do that with a flyer. You can't do that with ads. But face to face, you can convey that straight away. I don't know what the saying is or what the quote is, but the majority of someone's perception of you is based on your body language and your appearance and your demeanor, and not the words that you say and not the words that other people say about you. It's more to do with your body language and, your posture and all these different things. So being face to face with someone is going to elevate that and allow you to exhibit all of that. And there's also the social proof effect. So if they see you talking to their neighbor, they're also more likely to say yes. Or if you just go up to someone and say like, oh, we clean for someone on your street, and so blah, 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 that builds social proof, because now they're like, oh, this person cleans for one of my neighbors or someone else on the street or someone else on the block. So now they know that if someone else trusts you in their neighborhood, then they can trust you as well. So, all right, we know that door knocking is effective. We know that we're not doing it and we should be. So how can we start to do it? What are some ways that we can kind of kick things off and get the ball rolling? Well, I've got a couple of little script ideas that I've just jotted down. And, door knocking is actually really, really simple. A lot of people try to overcomplicate it. You may have seen videos on TikTok where people go up to someone's door and they do a whole song and dance and they're like cracking jokes and they're like, oh, we're running a special where you can get 50% off and it's only available to, attractive young ladies wearing pink jackets that have 2 corgis. It's like, there's no need for all that stuff. Like, sure, it's cute, it's quirky, but just keep it simple. Go up to someone, say, hey, I'm Jason. I run a small cleaning business in the area. We help busy households like yours keep their homes clean and stress-free. I just wanted to introduce myself. Would you be interested in a free quote or a quick chat about what we have to offer? Yes, no, all right, done and dusted, move on to the next one. Simple. You can have an offer-based one. You can say, hey, we're offering a 20% off intro clean for new clients in the neighborhood. Just wanted to drop by and see if you'd be interested in grabbing one before this week fills up. You can have one about, that's centered around authority and social proof. You can say, hey, I'm Jason with Enhanced Cleaning. We already cleaned a few homes in this street or a few homes in the neighborhood, and I thought I'd see if you'd like a quote. Or you can say, like, I just cleaned a house a few houses down, and I just wanted to come in here before I leave and see if you'd like a quote. A lot of our clients are busy parents or professionals who just want the cleaning handled. Would you like to have a quote now, or can I leave a card, or what's the best way to move forward? And you can say, because we clean for other people in your neighborhood or on the street, we can give you a special offer if we are able to, combine everything on the same day. Whatever you have to say to make it make sense. That's how simple it is. It's just a couple of sentences. You introduce yourself, you explain what you do, you give an offer, and that's it. You give them some options. That is all there is to it. It's not hard. It's just that barrier that you have to overcome with the limiting beliefs and like the anxiety and the worry and like the what ifs and the fear of the unknown and the fear of rejection. And I'm always the first to admit I struggled with that when I started. Probably for the first 2 years of my business, honestly, I struggled with those kind of limiting beliefs and that mindset, that limiting mindset. And so I would really love to see more people doing this in the residential space. I think it's a great opportunity because we are literally cleaning the homes at which we are knocking on the doors of. So it's like such a great pairing between message, market, and the offer, the service offering, because we are offering a service of a house clean directly to the household. It's such a great pairing. And so I want to see more people doing this. And like I said, just keep it simple. That is the easiest way to especially overcome something that you're worried about or don't think that you'd be good at. It's just keeping it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it with really long scripts and like different logic trees and like forks in the road and different things based on answers. And you don't need to be funny and witty and all this stuff. Like, that's great if you want to do that, if that's in your nature, but don't try to force yourself to do that if you're not really comfortable with that, because you don't have to do that. Just keep it simple. Have a simple script. Say, hey, I'm Jason. I run a small cleaning business in your area. Blah, blah, blah. We clean households here. Just wondering if you want a free quote. Yes, no, all right. Move on to the next door. I can guarantee if you start doing this, if you knock on 100 doors, you will get at least one customer, at the very least. And knocking on 100 doors, it sounds like a lot, but that might take you, I don't know, a couple of hours, realistically. Because most conversations are going to go very quick. If someone says no, that whole conversation is going to be like 30 to 60 seconds, right? So I want to see more people doing that, and just make sure you present yourself well, wear a clean uniform with your logo on it, because that professionalism makes a big difference. You can carry simple flyers as well, or a business card with your face and logo on it and all the details about your service that you can just hand to the person. Even if they say no, you can say, oh, well, if it's okay with you, I'll just leave this flyer with you in case you change your mind or you want to have a bit more of a read about what we do and then maybe make a decision later on. Just hand that to them and then move on to the next one, because there is that potential that they may become a customer later on. So, And you can time it well as well. So like mid-morning to early afternoon on weekdays when people are home, like parents and retirees and shift workers and stuff, you can make sure you time it well so you're actually catching people when they're home, and track it as well. That's the best way to get feedback and restructure what you're doing and figure out what to really do. So like know how many houses you knock at, how many answer, how many convert. You can even turn it into a game or challenge. You can gamify it in your Notion if you use Notion. You can track objections. So every time you get a certain objection, you can note that down and you can think like, oh, how can I overcome that objection if it ever comes up in future? If you knock on a door and someone says, are your products septic safe? Because I have a septic tank in my front yard, and you don't know, and that catches you off guard. You note that down, and then you look into it and you're like, oh, actually this product isn't septic safe. So now next time someone asks you that, you can say, our whole range is septic safe except for this one product, but for your house, we can use a different one. We can use, like One Shot Thick isn't septic safe, but there is a product that Peerless does. Oh, I actually forgot the name of it. I think it's called like Washroom or something. I don't know. But then you can say, oh yeah, like this particular product we use isn't septic safe. So we would just switch it out for this one in your house. So now, that objection that you had originally, that has now allowed you to, formulate a response that you can give to other people down the track if that comes up again. And simply put, that is the path of progression. That is how you get better at something. You get feedback, you trip over a few times, you get some pushback, there's some negative experiences, but altogether they shape you in a better and more positive way, and they posture you in a way to achieve success. So I always say, like, mistakes are a prerequisite for success. Mistakes are inevitable when it comes to succeeding. So I always want to fail faster. I welcome failure with open arms because it's a sign of progression. It's a sign that you're a little bit closer to the success that you're looking for. I completely just lost my train of thought. I got a phone call and we got confirmation that we won a commercial cleaning contract that we quoted on months ago, and we've only just heard the final verdict on because it went through it's this radiology clinic, and there was like a measles outbreak, and they had to pretty much lock everything down, and I don't even know, but we just heard we've got it, so that's great. And now I'm trying to figure out what I was just talking about. So where were we? I think we were towards the end of the episode. So yeah, it's a very powerful thing, door knocking. Sorry, I'm just trying to regain my train of thought here. But yeah, I think the most important thing here is just reframing for a modern mindset. So think of door knocking as market research plus brand awareness plus lead gen all in one. Because even if they say no, they now know your name and face, and that's a seed planted. And you don't need to be salesy. Just be curious and helpful and confident. So, having that tonality in your voice, like, oh, hey, I was just wondering, would you be interested in that kind of curious and helpful tonality and confidence as well, conveying that confidence through your body language and the smile on your face as soon as they open the door, and also mirroring them. So if they open the door and, they look really, really grumpy, maybe having an over the top, like exorbitant, like, really, really bubbly approach might not be the best one. So maybe you just tone it down a little bit for people like that. But then if people are super bubbly and super personable, then you match them, because that's kind of, if that's how someone interacts with other people, that's probably how they like to be interacted with. But if someone's being really rude, maybe don't match them by being rude. Just tone it down a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. It's something that I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of. I think the tide is starting to turn. I think people are going to warm up to this more because it's just such an effective marketing effort. I think it's probably the most effective marketing tactic that you can use in terms of ROI and investment. All you're investing is time, and you can close clients. Like when you get good at it, once you do enough of it, you can probably close like one in 20 clients. And if you just do 100 doors in like a 2-hour span, you can get clients that are worth $5 to $10 grand a year every hour, and you don't have to spend any money for that. So it's very good. It's scalable. It's not like word of mouth and referral, which is hard. It's not as predictable. It's not as scalable. And yeah, it's really good. I want to see more of it. I want to see more of it from the ladies as well. I think the ladies would be great at it. I know Stacey, my manager for my Bunbury location in the business. She's so good at talking to people. She's a lot better than me at talking to people. And so like in that sort of sales environment, she would actually be a lot better than me, like way better at closing deals and making sales. So I'd love to see more of it from the ladies in this space. I think you would be really, really good at it if you're listening. And if you're one of the other guys in the residential cleaning space, embrace it as well. Don't just look at other people in other industries and other niches and be like, oh yeah, it probably works for them, but it doesn't work for me. Step out of your comfort zone, get yourself into uncomfortable situations and knock on doors, do things that you don't normally do, and just suck at it for a bit and then slowly get better and get feedback and improve your pitch and improve your objection handling and all that stuff. And then, before you know it, you'll be really good at it, and all of the worry and the stress and the anxiety, that'll be in the rear view, and you'll start closing clients and you'll be like, why was I never doing this? And again, I haven't done this yet because by the time that I really embraced the idea of it, I was already just like way too busy to be doing it. But it's a marketing muscle that I really want to train and strengthen now. So I'm going to take a word of my own advice and actually try it. I'm going to start doing it. And I'm probably going to suck at it too. But I really love doing things that are unknown to me. Like my biggest thing in this industry is that I want to get good at everything. I want to learn and understand and know and do as much as I possibly can within this space. It's why I do certifications. It's why I do courses. It's why I do all these different trainings like crime scene and trauma. I did the training the week after I got qualified. I did my first forensic clean. Water restoration training. I've done that. I'm doing mold remediation training in Brisbane in actually a week. So I'll talk about that maybe in the next 1 or 2 episodes. All of these things, I just want to cram my brain with as much knowledge about this industry as possible because that's what I love to do. I want to be like the go-to guy for everything cleaning. I want to know something about everything and I want to be a master at the things that matter. And I think one of the things that really matters is door to door because it also builds it also sharpens your saw when it comes to doing face-to-face quotes. Like if someone calls you up on the phone and books a quote in, now you can use that experience and that skill that you've built up from door to door to then sell someone in a different environment. Like if you walk into an office building that has called you up and they've asked for a quote, you can take that skill and that knowledge and experience that you've gained from door-to-door sales and then apply it to that face-to-face quote. So it's a really underutilized form of marketing in our particular niche in residential and commercial cleaning. And it's something I want to see a lot more of. It's something that I'm going to be doing because I want to get better at it. And I just want to try it because I'm really keen and excited to do it. Even if I don't have the capacity, I'll just make capacity for it. I'll just hire a bunch more staff and yeah, give that a go. So with that being said, I hope you got something out of this episode. I hope you found value in it. And yeah, just look on TikTok, look at a lot of these pressure washing and window cleaning guys and probably girls too. I just haven't really seen any yet. But the ones that pop up on my page, they're always like these young guys that are just like hustle. And they probably listen to like Alex Hormozy and Andrew Tate and all that stuff. But just take a page out of their book and give it a go. And look on TikTok as well. And you can search up some of these guys and kind of see how they do it and how they operate. And also just remember, like these are people that have probably never done it before. These are complete amateurs as well. So it's a level playing field. Like we're all in the same boat. Some people are just more action takers and more action focused than others. So orient yourself and posture yourself in a way where you can start to overcome these limiting beliefs and do the things that make you uncomfortable. Do the things that you never thought you would do. And one of those things that I want to see you do is door knocking, maybe even just start with cold calling so you can start to build that muscle and slowly overcome those limiting beliefs and get yourself into some lesser uncomfortable situations before you move up to the big leagues of knocking on someone's door and talking to them face to face and trying to sell someone who's never met you or never heard of you on something that you don't even know if they want or not. So that is the word for today. Hope you enjoyed that. And I'm looking forward to the next episode, or probably it'll be the episode after, I think. That's when I get to Brisbane. I'm going to talk all about mold remediation. We're doing a 3-day training on that. It's like $2,000 a ticket. And yeah, I'm going to share a lot of my knowledge and insight and learning and experience from that. It'll be a lot of fun because mold is definitely a prevalent issue that we see in a lot of our clients' homes. So now I'll hopefully be able to contextualize it more and articulate these things more and give an actual constructed answer to people when they're like, what is this? Or how do I get rid of it? And I'm like, oh, that's such and such. I don't know yet because I haven't done the training, but we'll touch base in a few weeks and I'll do a whole episode about that, and that'll be a lot of fun. I'll maybe even do a joint podcast again with the gang, with Mrs. Muscle and Kings and Megan from Valley to Beach Forensics. So that'll be a whole lot of fun, and we'll try to do it with a slightly higher production value than the first time where we just put a microphone in the middle of a table and just spoke over it. That was a pretty funny time. But yeah, I've also got to go on board this massive new client that we just landed. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and we now have to figure out how we're going to staff that because I think we have to start in like a week. So yeah, fun times, but embrace the challenge, embrace sucking at stuff that you're not good at, and embrace moving out of your comfort zone and breaking down these limiting beliefs. Because look, the only thing they're really going to prohibit you from doing and limit you from is making money. So with that being said, hope you have a great rest of your day/evening, and I'll talk to you next time.